All right, so now we should be recording. Unfortunately, I'm going to go back over that stuff real quick. So I forgot to start recording for those of you watching this late. Let me go over what we've covered. First thing, you have absolutely got to be reading the posts. This is where we communicate. I will send some focus messages, but more detail is going to be in here. I'm going to put hints in here as I get questions from people. I'm not getting a ton of questions. That's the next thing. You guys are saying you're struggling, but nobody's asking me questions about the assignments. I get maybe 5 or 6 people per assignment, and it's always pretty much the same people asking me how to do stuff, saying they're having trouble. Well, that I'm assuming everybody else knows what they're doing then, even though nobody's turning in anything, or a lot of people are not turning anything in. And when some people are turning it in, it's not complete work or it's not correct work. Your homework, I'm sorry, your assignments are basically considered to be, they're not quiz grades, but they need to be as accurate as a quiz would be. You have plenty of time to work on them. You have all day and all night and all week, because everything that I do is due on Friday. So you need to be accurate. It's not like what we did in class where you can just kind of make a little bit of an effort and then you're good to go. That's because you only have 10 or 15 minutes to work on stuff in class. That's not the case anymore. So you need to make sure your answers are complete, writing complete sentences, make sure you think they are accurate. If you're writing in here, I don't know, or I don't remember how to do this, I mean, that's going to be a 0. So you need to put some effort into this. Otherwise, you're not going to wind up passing this class. I think out of all the assignments that have been so far submitted so far, I have 1 A, 0 Bs, like 3 or 4 Cs, and then everybody else got a D or an F. Um, that's that was a lot of D's or F's. I mean, don't think that you're getting a free pass this semester, this quarter. So it will definitely be an easy quarter, but it's not going to be a free pass. All right, so that's part of what you missed. Again, if you didn't have a printer, you can read this one. Basically, you have to just do it manually on your own. I also posted a YouTube video. I think, is there a link in there? Yeah, there's a YouTube video I posted on how to do the manual graphing of it. I did an example, not from the assignment, but I just created an example. So you can look at that YouTube video. I'm still going to post YouTube videos, or I'm going to start posting them again. So always look at YouTube. You should see a link though in here, but you might want to still check them because some of the old videos are actually still pretty good for what we're doing. So that was about the live session. So all my communication is going to be through this page. I will sometimes send out focus messages, but that's normally just a duplicate message. So again, check posts. Next thing on assignments. So I know that this application has been a pain in the butt, to say it politely. But let's go over how it should work. So when you go to assignments, you should see, and mine looks different, I'm sure, than yours. Actually, tell you what, I'm a student for one of the classes to help another teacher see if things are working. So I'm going to go into as a student. So this is more like what you guys would see. So again, her feed is the same. So I'm in as a student right now, although I do still have teacher permission, so it might be a little different. So I would go over here and I could click on my grades. So I talked briefly about grades, but this is how your grades should look for you. So I just see one list of all of my grades. I see when it was due. I see the status, so I turned some stuff in. I viewed this, but I didn't turn it in yet. So I'm going to need to go back and turn that in. So if you see viewed, you haven't turned it in yet. Even if you think you did, you have not. This means I need to go do something. So I don't see how to get to, oh, I got to go to assignments to turn it in. I thought I was in assignments. So you'll notice I turned in, oh, okay, so here it says returned. That means I need to do something. So if it says viewed or if it says returned, I need to do something. Also, not turned in would mean I need to turn something in too. So those 3 things. The only time you're good basically is if it says turned in. There's no grade on these, if you'll notice. I don't know if she graded anything, but I did tell you the truth. No. You should see a grade though for the stuff that says turned in and I haven't returned to you. I think some of you are seeing grades. So I'm going to show you in a second how to turn something in. You should already know that. I think you guys are mostly good there. Returned would be the same way. I would just correct the assignment. So now I'll go to assignments. So past due, 35 points. I think this must be the one. I should have remembered the name from over there. Yeah. So this is the one that I did. If you'll notice, I redid the assignment, or not redid, but I did it in Word. I attached this. So all you do to attach a document in Teams is you say add work. This part is crucial. So wake back up. Wake up. When you go to add something in Teams, and again, we're not doing it right now, but you will. So if you go to add something in Teams, we'll add Beyonce and Who Runs the World. Most folks might get a kick out of that. And you hit open. All right. So I went in, I said upload from this device down here. When I clicked on that, it opened this up. You go in, you find the document, and then I hit open. You have got to wait until that bar goes all the way across. All right. It doesn't always go that fast. It normally doesn't go that fast, probably. If you do not see that bar go all the way across, if it's just stuck here and it's not doing anything, cancel and do it again. Sometimes it just doesn't work, but if you come in and try it again, it will work. Don't just sit there and wait forever. If it doesn't work in 30 seconds to a minute, then try it again, right? All right, so I just added that. You notice now I've added a second attachment. This was her original attachment here, so sometimes I will attach stuff that you can use to help you with the assignment. You would still need to take that, open it up, save your own version. When you save your own version, make sure you are including the name of the assignment. That will help you match it up when you go to submit it, and it obviously would help me as well when I go to read it, because some of you are putting the wrong assignment or the wrong attachment in the wrong assignment. And I'm trying to figure out how to grade it, and basically I'm about to give you a 0 and I realize maybe it's supposed to go to another assignment. So make sure you match up the file that you say and put your name in it as well. Like just put -Gil for me. There is a post on how to do that. So you can read the post in the post section in the feed. I call this the feed or the posts section right here. What I'm pointing at, not this down here. This is assignments, but right here, I call that the feed or the post session. So now I'm going to go up here. I'm going to turn this in. What time is it? 9:30. I hit turn in, and I'm rewarded with, apparently I just won a little dragon out of one of those little grab things, which never work, by the way. Don't even put your quarter in there. Actually, that's not true. I've seen people win, but rarely. If for some reason I know I made a mistake already, I could undo that real quick, and I could get it back, and I could work on it and then resubmit it. I'm not going to show you that piece of it though. I will go back to assignments now. Okay, so to go back, if you'll notice, I'm clicking on it. Nothing's working, not working, not working. Here, click back. Back will take you. There's almost always a menu option to go back from wherever you're at. So I'm not seeing. Oh, if the assignment is past due, it may not show up. Boy, I'm not seeing the one that she returned. Let's go see what the name of it was. So she returned the daily check-in from 4/3. So let's see if that is showing up. Daily check-in from 4/3. Yes, that is not showing up. So I'm guessing it's just because I'm not allowed to work on something that is past due, although these are showing up here. It depends on whether or not you set a past due date, I guess. So for attendance, you won't be able to, but you should see any assignment that I've put in there all the way up until the due date. If it's been returned, then you need to add some more stuff or correct some stuff and then put it back. All right, so we've talked about this piece. We talked a little bit about grades. We're not using files. We're not using class notebook. Communicating with me, focus is the best way. If you just have an individual question about the class in general, if you're talking about a specific assignment though, use this post feed. You see how the assignment shows up. just click reply and say, hey, I don't understand how to do number 1, or I don't understand the overall assignment. Like when it comes to graphing, how am I supposed to, I can't print it out. How am I supposed to do it? And then that's when I'll make normally a whole class, actually all my classes, I'll make an announcement so that it not only answers your question, but hopefully other people may have that question. Although I'm in right now as a student, let me go back into a team that I own. So, oh, this will be available, by the way, to go back and watch. So after we are done, this particular team, so this live session, Mr. Gill, I'm going to go in here. You see how right now you can join this live session. I guess this is another way to join. In the future, if you ever come in, you can just join the live session from right here, from in the posts, in the feed. Just click join, apparently. Barry asked if we are not going back to school. As of right now, we are supposed to go back to school May 2nd. I don't know that that is going to happen. So, okay, so this is just everything that we're seeing from the, I think on the other chat part as well, so that's good to know. Yeah, this is the same exact stuff that was in the chat, so that's good to know. I doubt we go back to school. That's just my opinion. We would only have a month left. There's no testing. They're anticipating that this is still going to get worse for another week or two before it starts getting better. And why take a chance on having, people start getting infected because you started going back to work into school? So I don't think we will. So we'll see. So let's talk about doing an actual assignment. So when I post an assignment, like I'm not, it's going to be a little trickier to do some of these assignments than when I'm just in class and I'm providing help. I want you guys to work at it. I don't want them to be easy. They're not supposed to be easy. The only way you're going to learn is if you take some initiative, and if you, frankly, if you struggle a little bit, if it's got to be a little bit hard for you to figure out in order for you to learn. If it's too easy, you're not learning anything. So, for example, when I posted one of those assignments on system of equations, all you need to do is go in and just Google system of equations. You can add some other keywords in there. Google how to graph a system of equations, or Google system of equations and different solutions, because I think I asked you something about the different solutions. Actually, let me open up. I'm going to open up the assignment. We'll look at the questions real quick. I think I attached the first one through here. We'll try to see. View past due. Hopefully I can open it up through here. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. Even though it's past due, I should still be able to. There we go. Edit assignment. All right, so yeah, open a Word document, write a paragraph. Some of you did not give any examples, or you didn't give 3 examples. I said give 3 examples that are math equations. That would mean that the examples had to have 2 equations each. Because again, you guys got the definition right. You defined it and you said, well, a system of equations means you have 2 or more equations. But then when you gave an example, you only wrote 1 equation. We've done this before, so I'm not going to solve problems right now. We'll do that in a second when I open it up for questions. Then you had to have 3 that are word problems. A lot of the word problems were not system of equation word problems. Again, all you had to do was Google system of equations and then example word problems, or practice word problems, or practice word problems worksheet. You may have to Google several things to finally get to what you need. So, don't think that it's just going to necessarily pop up on the very first thing you Google. But again, I said see posts and teams. I think I gave more information in Focus also. Here was the due date, so that's why you probably can't, well, you can't turn it in anymore. I will create another assignment, or I might have already created it in Focus, which will allow for late work for this assignment because most of you did not get a good grade on it. Probably most people didn't even turn it in. I didn't get anything from about half the people, if not even more than half the people. I'm not going to update it. I think that's everything. Again, it's going to be a little difficult. You're going to have to do some work. This is not going to be 3 + 2 = 5 type questions. So don't expect that. You're going to have some assignments that are a little trickier. All right, what else did I want to talk about before I open it up to questions? Talked about naming files, talked about loading files, turn it in, add work. Add work would be the little button if you have your own file that you saved and you worked on and now you need to load it into Teams. Talked about the status, which you can see normally in grades as well as in your assignments. Talked about doing research. So I think that's almost everything. I can't show you much in Focus because unfortunately I would be showing everybody's grades and I don't want to do that. I can show you a Focus assignment, I think, though. Let me see. Let me see if I can get there. I don't know why that's not popping up. Let's go to Clever. Focus. Login. Oh, I have some messages, so I do get some messages from some people. I'll respond to those later. Need to take attendance, grades, and lesson. Here we go. Yeah, I can do this without showing grades. Hopefully everybody's still on. So I don't know what you guys see. I probably see something different. But this little section is where I attach something. I'm hoping yours is similar to that. So when you go to upload a document, you would hit select and then, just find your file and hit upload or whatever. I don't know exactly what you see. I can't duplicate that on this screen, unfortunately. I have instructions in here. If you'll notice, there's some instructions right there. I think in one of the assignments, I put a ton of instructions, and I'll start doing that since it looks like we're going to be using Focus for a little while. I didn't do that before because I thought we'd be using Teams. Okay, yeah, so here, where it says description, there's a lot more than this. You see the little scroll bar? So always go and focus to the description, and I'm going to have a lot of information in there. So I gave videos, I gave all kind of stuff. It's hard to read, though. I'm surprised that's all it shows. Hopefully you guys see more than that. Here are links. There are 2 files attached, which are the problems you need to graph. So make sure I thought I put even more. Let's try this. I will try to put links in to help. Oh yeah, here's a ton of information also on how to do it over here. So again, I put a bunch of information to try to help you as well as some links to do. So there's plenty of information to be able to do the assignments. We're going to do some problems, but you're also going to be doing some probably quite a bit of me giving you questions that you have to think about and answer or research and answer. It's just too easy for you to do problems when you're at home and you have the ability to use too many resources, frankly, to do problems. I think you probably understand what I mean by that. So I don't know how we're going to do assessments yet. We will try to do 1 or 2 assessments, but it's going to be a 1-day thing where you have the day to do it, or yeah, probably just the day to do it, and then it'll lock down. If you don't get it done, then maybe I'll be able to unlock it. I don't know. We'll see, or I'll have to do another one. Assessments can't be a week-long thing, though, in my opinion. We'll see. I'm going to talk to some other teachers about how they're doing it. So that's Focus. So let me see. There we go. So I am going to unmute some people. I don't know exactly how to get to everyone. So I'll unmute the ones that I see and ask if you guys have any questions. If you don't, I'll try to unmute some other people. Actually, I guess I cannot unmute. I can't. Show device settings, show meeting notes. I could start video with blur. That's not what I wanted. Show participants. Oh, here we go. Can I unmute you? If I can't remove people. Make an attendee, remove. So I guess I cannot mute anyone. So you guys can unmute. We only have about, Jaden never joined. We only have about 6 people, 7 people. So you guys can unmute if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, I guess. Oh, some people, you can also ask a question then in the chat. So either type your question in if you don't have a mic, or if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, go ahead. If you don't have a question though, don't unmute. I'd love to say hey to all of you guys, but there's just a lot of static and feedback sometimes with everybody unmuted. Who is that? Who? Beery. Okay, do you have a question?
I got a question for that.
There, that's better. What's the question?
The one you just posted.
The graphing one?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's your question?
I gotta open it, but like, what are we supposed to do?
Where?
Like, what are we supposed to do?
You're supposed to graph. So a system of equations is 2 or more equations in one problem. So for that, each problem only has 2 equations. So 2 variables, 2 equations. So you need to graph 2 lines for each of those problems. So by the time you finish, you should have, hold on, let me see if I can do this real quick. Let's go into Smart Notebook. I mean, we did this last semester, so you should be familiar with it. Once I mean, you can also, I put some videos in there. Just watch the videos, man. One of the ladies goes over exactly what you need to do. All right. So, are you good then?
Yeah, I'm still.
Here, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up anyway in case. So, system of equations. So you come in. So again, you would have 2 equations.
Mm-hmm.
So, they'll be in y equals mx plus b format. So I'm just gonna type a couple of them. Y equals like 2x plus 1. And then the second one might be y. This is from, I'm not pulling this from the sheet, obviously. I'm just making it up. Negative x subtract 1 or something like that. Right? Hopefully these are going to cross somewhere. So I would go in, I'd say, okay, well, my starting point is positive 1. Because remember, this is always the starting point. That's the y-intercept. So positive 1. I'm going to do a very sloppy job of this, but just so you can see it. So there's positive 1 right there. So I put a little dot there. From positive 1, I need to go over 1 and up 2 because this is my slope, right? I make this rise over run 2 over 1. So I go over 1, up 2. I put a dot there. And then now I need to just connect those with a line. So I will actually use the line tool in that. So I connect those with a line, which would probably start right about here.
You're not gonna have like this.
I don't know that. I mean, I'm planning to have them, yes. I don't know how in the world I'm going to do them yet. but I'm planning to have tests. So there's one line. So I just graphed one line. So now you have a second equation. All right, well, I just need to graph this second equation. So again, I go over here. So my -1 is my y-intercept. So I put a dot on -1. This time I'm going over 1, but down 1 because it's a -1 there technically, right? Even though we don't see a number, there's really a number 1 there. So I go to the right 1 and then down 1 because it's negative. Oh, yeah. To the right 1 and then down 1. So now again, I just connect those two dots. So that'll be somewhere through here. So I connect those two dots. Oop. So we'll make that line red. So now I've just created a graph. I've graphed this system of equations. All of the points on this red line are solutions to this equation. That red line goes with this equation. So every point on this red line would make this equation true. The left side would equal the right side. Every point on the right, on the blue line, would make this equation true. The left side would equal the right side. I'll give you an example. If I choose 2, 5, which is this point, 2 is my x, 5 is my y. Well, 2 is my x, so 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Well, I just said 5 is my y, so 5 equals 5. Every point on that line will make this top equation true. This point right here, where they intersect, this point right here, circle it. The point right here, that point is the solution to this entire system. Whatever that point is, which we just have to estimate it, it would make both of these equations true. The left side would equal the right side here, and the left side would equal the right side here. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly what it is because if you'll notice, it doesn't cross like through the corner of squares, so we can't tell exactly what it is. I think the ones on the worksheet, though, will be easier to tell. Hopefully they cross right through the corners, so you should be able to say, yeah, that solution is whatever it is. This one is approximately -0.8 and -0.3 or something like that. Just as an estimate, I'm just guessing based on where it looks like it is. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Again, watch the videos. Look at my link where I have the videos, and the lady goes through, and I think she does several problems. Some of them will go right through the corner of squares, so you can tell what the exact solution is. Some of them don't, I believe. I can't remember exactly. I watched a ton of videos, but I think that's what hers is like. I will try to do some videos sometimes, but they have a lot more technology available to them to create their videos than I do. But sometimes I will do them. I actually have, I think, one video out there on doing graphing system of equations already. I think I might be wrong about that. But if you look on my YouTube channel, there might be one there. Anybody else have any questions? Again, you can type them into the chat if you don't have. No more. I'm not seeing any questions come in. Nobody else has any questions. You can type them or you can unmute yourself and ask them. So we're going to do about 3 assignments per week. Yes, you can probably get another computer if that one's not working, Amari. So you need, I don't know how to do that exactly. You'd need to call the school. Mr. Sanders is the gentleman that handles the technology for the school, or I would just call the front office, the main school number. There should be people answering, or somehow you should be able to get somebody. I will also email, let me make a note, I'll email as well and see what the process on that is, and I can let you know. Again, I'm not 100% positive that you can trade it out, but I would think you would be able to, especially if it's not working. So can we get new PC? All right. Any other questions? Yes, I did listen to, I haven't heard Rod Wave's new album probably. I listened to old songs. Again, Not wild about all the profanity and any of the music that I listen to, but I did like Rod Wave. I thought his was pretty good stuff. I even liked some of the other stuff with the profanity. It just the music, at least, the words themselves weren't my favorite. I will say, Emma, your group, I'm not sure I'm ever gonna hear their next song. I don't remember the name of the group, but the one that I heard probably will be the last one that I heard. It was interesting, though. I'll give you that. If you're listening still. All right. If there's no last chance.
Next time
Well, okay. If you can't click on assignments, that is not your computer. That is the application, the Teams application, most likely. Does anybody else type in the comments if you, or you can say it if you want. Does anybody have trouble seeing assignments now? That should be there. Try turning your computer off and turning it back, like, shutting it down and then starting it over again, or turning it back on if that ever happens. Because sometimes when they release a fix, like it's called a patch, a software patch, it doesn't take effect properly. But if you turn it off, turn it back on, and then reopen the Teams application, sometimes it will work. There is tech help for the Teams application. I think that should have been communicated to you through the school communications. All right, well, I'm not seeing any more questions, so I'm going to go ahead and end it. We will do this again on Thursday. On Thursday, I'll really just be answering questions about assignments, though. So I'll probably post another assignment today, would be my guess. So you have the graphing one, and then you'll have another one where you're going to do substitution. So you'll have to solve a system of equations by substitution. There will be another video that I'll post along with that from the same people that did those other ones about the graphing for the most part. All right. Hope you guys are doing okay. Hope everyone is staying safe. A little scary out there with what's going on, but we'll be fine. We'll get through it. So, Amari, you should be able to do all your assignments through Focus now. You don't even need Teams. So just go in Focus and look at the dates that I've assigned stuff and when they're due. The only one you can work on right now is the graphing one. So, and that one's, again, I'm going to use Focus for all the assignments for a little while, for at least another week. So this whole week, your assignments will be in Focus. I will notify you through Teams that you have an assignment there, but you would use Focus to actually get the information and the attachment and then upload it to Focus to turn it in. So you don't need assignments right now. All right, so I'm going to shut it down, stop the recording. If you have any questions still after this, you can either post it in the feed here on Teams, or you can send me a message in Focus. Although Teams is better for that kind of stuff because it might help other people also. If you send me a Focus message, then it's just you talking to me and me talking to you, so it doesn't really help anybody else. All right, so I'm stopping the recording. Yeah.